back top of the league, baby. After beating Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge, here it is, the match reaction that you've all been waiting for. Big up yourself, people, but we got to run through the intro first. I can't wait for it. Wagwan, everyone. I hope you are doing well, because I certainly am, after Arsenal beat Chelsea by a goal to nil. But another time, the third time in a row, we've gone to Stamford Bridge, stamped our authority and won the game. But this one was the best of the bunch. If you just looked at that performance, guys, if you haven't watched that performance, make sure you do, even if you're not an Arsenal fan, because you'll take great pleasure in it if you're a football man. If you're a Man United fan or a Spurs fan, or maybe you won't take any pleasure in it at all because of the tribalism factor. But if you want to watch how to compete away from home in a difficult period, in a game where you want to stamp your authority, especially watch that first 20 minutes, because, guys, you know what? It's just great. It's just an amazing time to be an Arsenal fan right now. It seriously is. And after all the suffering that we have had in these past few years, and of course, when we talk about the suffering as Arsenal fans that we've had, is nothing compared to what a lot of fans of a lot of clubs have to go through out there. Of course, this is all relative, we're speaking, because of the great stature of our club and the massive fall that we have had for many a year now, and the banter and everything like that. To see this team with heart, passion, desire, that's the great old British rhetoric. But the main thing is technical brilliance and mentality to fight and dig in and find a way when things aren't exactly going your way. And when you hear me say that, you might think that we was having our backs against the wall. Absolutely not, of course. Just look at the statistics in this. Chelsea having one shot on goal on the entire game. The entire game, one shot on target. So Arsenal dominated it. But when I say we wasn't having our own way and we had to show that grit and determination in a different way, is because we wasn't fluid in our attack. We wasn't creating chances by the bucket load and scoring plenty of goals and looking like our free flow best. But this is the thing of not the ceiling, the floor, the base level of this side is so high right now. Even when you're not at your best, you're still performing at a ridiculously high level. And the players brought the intensity. They brought the quality into this game to assert their dominance and their authority on this. But we will get into the nitty-gritty of it. I've just given you like a brief overview on how I'm feeling and how Arsenal performed in this game. And it'll be interesting to see your thoughts as well, people. Big up Mama G, first one in here. Hope you're keeping well, Mama G, with a wave and a love heart. You know how it is. Love to you, Mama G. We got Matt G. Speaking of the G's, we got another G in here, and it's Matt G saying top of the league. Let's go. Big up yourself, Matt G, each and every time. Let me know your thoughts. Anything that you want to say, not just Matt G. What's your thoughts on this game and each and everything and everything that you want to say? Any off topic that you want to discuss? Anything like that at all? Big up yourself, Errol, as well. Hope you're keeping good, my bro. Hope you're keeping well. Wesbird in that place. Another one. Evening, Mr. T. Good evening to yourself as well, Wesbird. Eddie, big up yourself, saying Tereak, congrats on the win and current Arsenal hype, but injuries soon come. Hey, he's a Man United fan, people. He's a man. He's not going for a good time. He never had a good evening. That's just that simple. Did you, Eddie? You didn't have a good evening. Big up yourself, Louis, as well, who's also gassed as a Crystal Palace fan. Arsenal winning the league if you beat City. Louis. Welcome aboard, my friend. Hope you're keeping good. Big up my mama as well, again, saying, yo, my son, hope you're keeping well. We are top of the league, say we are top of the league, say we are top of the league. Get in. Chelsea new manager tax. What about Villa? New manager tax there, sir? Smash the like button, please, peeps. And big up Mr. T. Big up Mama G in the place as well. Mr. W says, big up yourself, Mr. W. And just like you guys, just like Westbird and Mr. W. That's what Arsenal be taking nowadays. One loss in the Premier League, and we're over a third of the way through the season. They keep praying on my downfall. Hey, they keep praying on our downfall. Come on, people. I'm going to be singing loads, probably. Maybe not. You might tune away if that's the case. But guys, there's nowhere we have to start. It's nothing personal. Talking about this game, when we start, the whole pre-match build-up going into this was the Aubame-Who situation, the video. By the way, I saw the video, right? I really didn't take too much notice of it. It's a promo, BT Sport, that, you know, he was going to enter this game all fired up mentally from that point of view anyway. So I really didn't take it personally. I was more offended by how he, disrespected us by turning up late and those things there. I thought that was more disrespectful than him saying a few comments about he's a blue and that, because actions speak louder than words, and it always has been the case in my life. And his actions at the time he was at Arsenal, yes, he did very well initially, had a great start coming in, was the reason why we won that FA Cup in the way we did. He scored 2 goals in the semi-final, 2 in the final, but how he performed later and his attitude whilst he wasn't performing well, I think, guys, when we talk about number 9s and how you perform and how your attitude on and off the pitch is when things aren't going your best, have a look at Gabriel Jesus. That's the one you need to be looking at. And that's nothing personal, because we've got a better striker who's much better than you. And I hope you think that's nothing. And, it's nothing personal to you, Aubame-Who. He's just a much better footballer with a much better mentality that suits this football club and where we want to go to. It's that simple. I know he's not going to be watching this, but I'm just letting you guys know. This is why I was never, ever, ever against the decision. Go check the tapes, reload it. Receipts are on the channel. I was never against it. I was also championing for a certain kind of Xhaka to be captain. But, I was laughed at the time. I was. But I've just got to talk with Chess today, because this is another test that we have come up and proven people wrong. You played the big 6 sides at home in all season, in all your games. Excuse me. What was this? Away from home, once again, like we haven't beat Chelsea away from home. Probably that's going to be the rhetoric now. The goalpost moved again. Arsenal, yeah, but you always beat Chelsea. You didn't beat Man United, which we didn't, for sure. We didn't deserve to win. But we're acting like there's been more than one invincible team in the Premier League since I've been alive, since you've been alive. I don't think so. And that's why you have to give credit where credit's due to go and grab this win. It's nothing personal, but that's the level that we need to be. That's the level striker that Arteta, that's what Arteta wanted you to be. And it's not that he couldn't be that. Didn't have the mindset for it, clearly. And that's just totally the case. Wes Bird says here, Aubame will get what he deserves, which is nothing, because what goes around comes around. Professionalism is key, and being a decent human being. Absolutely. Me and Wes Bird are on. We're in the same synergy here. This is exactly what you got to do. That's the minimum standards that you expect. Yes, he wasn't performing well. At points, towards really the last 18 months of his Arsenal career. And when he got that big contract, it kind of went downhill for him, and not just for him himself, Arsenal. And he had a lot of credit in the bank, which is why a lot of Arsenal fans weren't critical, including myself. But then when you see those things happening off the pitch, absolutely no chance. You cannot accept that. Not at all. I'm someone who comes across, I don't even care how you perform. No, I don't even care how you're performing. You could be the best player on the pitch, right? And you could be performing at that level. But if your attitude's not right, me personally, I don't bend, I don't do those things. Alex Ferguson did, and it worked for him. Great. It's worked for other managers as well. Arteta, he's same school of thought as me. Because guess what? The performances will fluctuate, right? You'll be great. You'll be great one week. You can be world class, and you can still have bad periods of form. But if you're not mentally correct, if you're not mentally at that level, when it's not going well, guess what remains the same? Your professionalism and your mentality and your attitude. And that's why Arteta is happy with Jesus, and he says he will turn it around. I've seen how hard this guy works and his mentality. He's not, this ain't the first time he's gone through a goal drought. Whereas really Aubameyang, first time he went through a goal drought, that goal drought's been about 24 months now, right? Where he's been struggling. I mean, he had a good time at Barcelona, having said that. Well, in the Premier League, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been for him. So yeah, that's my little talk on Aubameyang there, because it was nothing personal. He probably did get a little bit personal there. But let's talk about the starting lineup, because this was a big thing right now. And big up each and every one of you in the chat. Ed in here, massive congratulations. Thank you, my bro. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you for holding down the fort on Friday for the Premier League show. If you haven't seen it, go check out our predictions. Did predict an Arsenal win going into this. But the starting lineup, right. This was the biggest talking point, in fact. Zinchenko over Tierney. Of course, Tomiyasu picked up that he's had that previously. Hamstring injury against Zurich as he came off the bench, and we knew he wasn't going to be fit enough for this game. The turnaround was way too short. And yeah, it looks like an injury that could even put his World Cup in doubt, in fact. So we definitely wasn't expecting him in this one. But Kieran Tierney had you know what? He was our best player against Zurich. The reason why we won with the goal, but he was the best player by a mile in that game. And we thought, you know what? Maybe this is the game for Tierney. He's going to be given the chance, given the fact that Zinchenko didn't even get to come on. And he's not played a game. He's not had any minutes since that Tottenham game where he got 60 minutes in that one. And even that, coming off the back from that injury, he'd missed the Brentford game just before that, and he was clearly suffering with an injury in the Tottenham game, I thought. And he wasn't quite fully recovered. And I was thinking, I was like, right, I totally understand. I can see where Arteta's going, because if Zinchenko is fit, if he's sharp, he's going to add another body in midfield. He's going to help us progress the ball. If Chelsea try and pull a fast one in terms of that, try and pull a tactic to try and nullify Thomas Partey in the middle to try and literally stick a man on him, he'll help us overload in those central areas and be an extra option to progress the ball. Not just an extra body in midfield. It's not about that. It's about being someone who's capable enough technically wise and has the vision and the understanding on when to play the ball through the lines. And Zinchenko certainly does that. And, you know, that's why he's been performing at Manchester City at a high level previously. So yeah, and this is what we saw at the start of the season for Alexander Zinchenko. So I was like, okay, I see that, but my only doubt and my only worry going into the game was, is he going to be match fit? Is he going to be, if he was at the level that we saw against Tottenham where he wasn't sharp, but maybe now, hindsight, he was clearly injured, but he was trying to manage through that injury, was right. We may struggle because Chelsea being at home, I was expecting a bit more intensity from them from the off to try and get in Arsenal faces, to get physical, which I think they did, but right throughout the team, throughout the front line, which they certainly couldn't do. So that helped Zinchenko, right? And Zinchenko starting over Tierney was the correct call, tactically speaking. As Kieran Tierney's trying to develop his game tactically for this new age Arsenal, this new Arsenal side, that how we are shaped at the back is different, and how we build up and how we progress the ball from our goalkeeper through to the defense, into the midfield, through to strikers is different to how we did it last season. We relied upon Kieran Tierney to maintain a lot of width. We had Emile Smith-Rowe starting on that left wing, who would play a lot more in the half spaces, with Granit Xhaka starting off deeper and making runs not quite into the box, not quite as far as deep into the box, and being an outlet for goals and a goal scorer that we saw and we have seen this season, but someone who was helping and actually covering for Kieran Tierney on that left-hand side a lot. Playing in that auxiliary like left back position, whilst Kieran Tierney was bombing on and connecting with Emile Smith-Rowe, obviously for multiple factors, with Emile Smith-Rowe's injury, with how Arsenal are playing now with Jesus and Zinchenko and White in at right back, whereas Tomiyasu was last season, who was maintaining a lot of width, but also tucking in a little bit, not into the central areas that we've seen Tomiyasu and Benjamin White do, but also tucking in to make a back three as Kieran Tierney bombs on, and Xhaka's just a bit ahead of the back of the other back three in that left side position. So it's a little bit different now, where he's a lot more central, and you have to be able to take the ball up in central areas, have the ability to shift it left or right and make different types of passes, which is a completely different area of Kieran Tierney's game, which is why I'm not as worried as Arsenal fans, as other Arsenal fans who are saying, I'm worried now. Is Kieran Tierney going to want to leave? Is he going to do this? Is he going to want to do that? Guys, how many times do we need to watch? How many times do we need reminders? We saw this with Gabriel Martinelli. Do you remember when Mikel Arteta first came in, and this was when Gabriel Martinelli came back from his injury? He didn't throw Gabriel Martinelli straight in. And people were saying, yeah, because of injury, because of those things. I think that's a factor, like how it is with Kieran Tierney. But the main thing is because Gabriel Martinelli wasn't tactically developed enough yet to what Arteta wanted. And in terms of, Arteta's words and his quotes himself, is going through the gears. He needs to learn how to manage those gears and take it down a level and pick it back up, because Martinelli was someone who went in at full speed, 100 miles per hour, full energy, raw. You can see came straight from Brazil in that sense, and someone who came in with that mentality of I want to prove myself. But what Arteta wanted was for him to develop, for him to grow, to him to mature, to have the understanding, to learn how to manage games, manage certain situations, because it will be for the betterment of him and himself, the team, and also the result in that sense. So I think that's what we're seeing with Kieran Tierney. So be calm, be patient on that, Arsenal fans. I will give it time, honestly. It might not even be this season where we see Kieran Tierney, like really starting week in, week out, but we might see a development at some stage. Just be careful. We signed him up to a contract not too long ago. And if the worst case scenario happened, if we did sell him, that's fine. That's fine. Don't just trust. Where's the trust in the process? You guys are happy now. Let's continue trusting it. Not saying that every decision they make is going to be right or it's going to be beneficial in the short term. But guys, they know what they're doing. Trust me. I've been trying to say that for a while. You didn't trust me or any other Arsenal fan that was giving you a lot of good reason to say so. It was club people, glass half empty, not seeing reality. No, those things there. You're not, this and that. No, this is time. Take time. Relax, people. Patience is key. Remember, it's one of the fruits of the spirit as well. Patience. So, Zinchenko over Tierney for sure. Before we get into that, I want to see what you guys are saying, because I'll talk about the domination at the bridge and what happened, what happened and what caused the domination at the bridge right there. But Wes Bird talking about Aubame-Who, compare it with how Arsenal fans view Thierry Henry, who is lauded and loved still because he was different. He was a different level on and off the pitch, and still is indeed. Big up yourself, Moss, in here as well. Hope you're keeping good. Competition for places is key in terms of that. Exactly that, Wes Bird. And if we want to get to that level, we need to have competition for places. And Kieran Tierney, who spoke about it himself, this will raise his level. Why do you think Zinchenko is played so good for his time? He's used to competition. He's had to look at João Cancelo and no, we can't displace him. But every time Kyle Walker either breaks down or Cancelo breaks down, this is my time to shine where I can get a run in the team now. Unfortunately, because of Pep Guardiola's management and how he is there, he doesn't really allow players to have runs throughout the team, because he does pick a team based on tactically for the individual game, which I think Arteta's a little bit different in that sense. And they do have a lot of similarities, but I think Arteta is willing to go with form as well. People say, but what about Kieran Tierney? A little bit different there, because Zinchenko was playing really well before his injury, but we saw it before. Tavares, he was playing a lot of games. And it's because of that little tactical switch right there and what they versatility they can give you in and out, in possession mainly. Kieran Tierney, not doubting his quality at all, but competition for places is key. Glass half full, always in my world. Yeah, you got to look at it. You got to look at it in that sense. And for me, I naturally do fall upon the glass half full side, but then I also try and have an intrinsic assessment of, right, why isn't this glass all the way full? Why is it only half full? And how can we get that to being a full glass. So yeah, because I am looking at it's glass half full right now, but we'll talk towards the end on how we can get this to a full glass right there. Decent result against a mid-table side. Yeah, true, B&B. That's probably it. We're not coming up against the best sides. It's just mid-table ones. Big up yourself, B&B, each and every time. What a great day it is for us. But the domination at the bridge. And here are some of the key points. We'll start off with our counter pressing when we did lose possession, which wasn't often. Wait, you know what? It was often enough when it was breaking down in the final third. But there were so many occasions in this game where Gabriel Jesus, the ball weren't quite sticking to his feet. His pass was going a little bit heavy to Martinelli. Martinelli's touch, he was getting physically, and him and Saka, well, I'll talk about that as well. They were getting, heavy challenges put upon them. The ball weren't quite working, skidding off the turf when we was getting into the final third. But as soon as Chelsea picked up that ball, how we reacted, the organization that Mikel and his coaching staff have put into this, remember the patterns that they spoke about in All or Nothing. If you lose the ball in this position, you know what you need to do. You know what area you need to press. You know what space you need to cover. You know what angles you need to cut off. And you know how intense you need to come back on this. How many times, especially in the second half, Jesus was nicking the ball off of Thiago Silva after they literally just regained possession. Trevor Chalobah going long, looking for Aubame-Who, passing it back to Mendy. We know Aubame, and just trying to go long, finding Havertz and Aubame-Who. Didn't work, and Arsenal regaining possession and able to assert their dominance because of that. That was through our counter pressing, which is not it definitely takes time to teach this in football. But our counter pressing right now is up there, man. It is ridiculously good. This is the best that I've seen from our counter press for a while. This was the best game I've seen our counter press since, I would say, our counter pressing against Manchester United in the second half was excellent. We didn't even counter press this well against Liverpool because we saw in the first half. Second half was much better again. In the first half, they were able to assert their, gain a bit of possession and put their I wouldn't say stamp their authority, but have a little bit of control our stadium. But if you watch this game again, just please, if you're one like me, a football sicko, who likes to watch these things again, look out for the counter press. Each time we gave it away, how we reacted. Even if we didn't win it straight away in that situation, we forced them to go long. And that's not what Chelsea wanted to do. That's not what Graham Potter wants from Chelsea, for them to go long in those situations. And that's what Arsenal's counter-pressing did. And another way how we asserted our domination was playing through the lines. And my word, there was a particular footballer in that midfield today, right, who absolutely shot masterclass on how to play the ball through the lines under pressure. But I'm going to talk about the team as a whole, as I will get into the star performers, because the team, there was that. Have you seen that clip, guys? Have you seen that clip on Twitter? Or can you remember in the game for Gabriel Jesus' chance under pressure? William Saliba picks up the ball, plays it between Gabriel Saliba to White, and then White to Partey to Ødegaard, and then out to Xhaka. Whatever, I can't even remember the sequence. That definitely wasn't the sequence, because I know I've got it wrong at least twice. But how we played in that situation there, that's just an example. How many times Partey picked up that ball? I've said his name now. I need to talk about him a little bit more. I want to give him individual praise. But yeah, how many times we picked up that ball through a Partey, through a Ødegaard, through a Xhaka, and was able to play through any half-baked press that Chelsea were going through. And I remember Jermaine Genius on BT Sport, which is where I was watching it here. So it's too easy for Chelsea. Too easy for Arsenal to play through the lines. I don't think. Come on. This is why you can't have a Spurs, man. Right. Talking about a game between Chelsea and Arsenal. Come on. Listen. Yeah. Chelsea, their press wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It's not the worst press I've seen. But it's not Arsenal's level and where we've got to, and it's going to take lots of time for Graham Potter to do that. He does play a high pressing style of football, trying to regain the possession up high and cause counters and turnovers in transition. But right, this is it, yeah. How we play through that, how we get the football into the front man, out to the wide players, creating space, maintaining the width. Once again, goes through the organization, but not just that, the technical quality, the understanding of these players. We have on-field coaches, the leaders that we have in this team who instruct, who know when to play, who will tell you where to go. We've seen Arteta down there on the sideline where Richard Keys needs to get out of the house, right, and stop moaning about Arteta being out of his technical area and just focus on the football that we're playing. How we were able to do that away from home, right? Away from home at Stamford Bridge. This is the best performance I've seen us have at Stamford Bridge, and we've won there multiple times. This isn't the first time we've won there, but we deserve this win. And however the goal came, we'll talk about that as well. But that watching those things there, the counter press and playing through the lines, that's how Arsenal were able to assert their dominance. Of course, the area of improvement, the area that I wasn't too, throughout the whole game, let's be honest, was our final third decision making and the lacking quality in those certain times, spaces, and those positions. But of course, for a tricky period that we've navigated through that October month, 9 games in 1 month, and then also coming up against Zurich in a last game that we needed to play, and we played a strong outfield. We played a strong team in that, and we had to take that into the final moment. And this is, guys, the main thing as well. You're not going to get it perfect performance all the time because we are the youngest team in the league. I'm going to keep spitting it and you're going to get annoyed about it. But I've got the average age right here on my screen and I'm going to read it out to you. Our average age of this team was 24.9 years of age. 24.9. I'm 24 in about next week, right? Not next week, 2 weeks. And guys, you might think I'm young. I might be, you know what I mean? Whatever. Do you think I'm young? Do you think I'm old? Let me know. But 24.9. So let's say 25, yeah. Average age of this first 11 is 25. Southampton's was 26, and that's the next youngest. And we're up against Chelsea, 28. So these aren't experienced veterans who, have played the game like, Champions Leagues, won this, that, etc. We've got some players that have, of course, Jesus, Zinchenko, Partey's won a league and European Cup. Xhaka is played at a high level, and he, I think did he win at Basel? I don't even know. He went to Mönchengladbach. But we have those sort of players and Odegaard, etc. But we do have a young side that are still maturing and growing, and this is why we're so excited as Arsenal fans, guys, because we weren't perfect, and we know that we're as far as we can get. We're getting close to perfection in terms of our starting 11. We'll talk about other things a bit later on towards the end after the game type of thing. But yeah, those two were the massive reasons. But it's our performance. I've given you a little glimpse, but you probably already knew that already. Let me see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat right now. Big up Chris in the place. Hope you're doing well. Has to be said, Havertz was your best player. Banter aside, yes, I despise Arsenal, and I think everyone is shocked by the start they have had. But don't think you can take away that you scored a fluke goal. Ooh, yeah, Chris, I hear what you're saying. Well, as I said, the goal weren't prettiest. I don't think it was a fluke though. I thought it was poor defending from Chelsea on that set piece. Cucurella, we'll talk about him as well. He's a lot to blame for that one. It wasn't a fluke because the corner, I mean, Saka's corner is going straight in anyway. It's definitely poor defending from Chelsea on that set piece right there. But Arsenal, guess what, Chris? We've been one of the best teams in set pieces this season. Us and Spurs, in fact. Us and Spurs have been the best two teams in the Premier League this season from set pieces. So, yeah, I got to give credit there where credit's due. Against your West London rivals as well, Chris. We scored from a set piece. Gabriel Magalhaes scored in that one. Big up yourself, Vibes. Hope you're keeping well, the main man. Um, has to be said, that result just killed the Chelsea season. Better luck next year. Better luck next year, indeed, because they're not rolling up to the Emirates and doing none of that. Glass half full could be let's have a look. A glass half full could be a full glass by bringing in another striker, defensive midfielder in Jan, which could top up the team and could be the difference of us getting over the line and even challenging for top spot. Wesbird, I don't disagree with you at all. I'd add one more position in there, I'd add one more position in there. But yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, definitely agree with in terms of the striker and the defensive midfielder. Big up Niall in the place saying, what a win, bro. What a win indeed. Massive win. Big up my brother Roland in here. Big up Tereak. Good win. Chelsea were poor too. Yep, they definitely were. Definitely. Just like, you know what? They were poor in the first half against you. The fact that, Roland, they are one shot on target at home in a Premier League game. No matter who you're playing against, they could be playing against Manchester City. One shot on target is not good enough. 5 shots overall. That's abysmal. That is abysmal. But there were some key performances from Arsenal that helped and that made Chelsea look poor in that sense. So yeah, but definitely Chelsea weren't good. Big up yourself, Will. Phil says, guess who's back? Back on top of the league. Sup, T-Money and my people. Hope you're keeping good, Wilf. Nice seeing you in here, my brother, each and every time. Gorgeous Mr. T, Amir, baby. There you go. You see, just like our side. Respect. Love for that. Love for that, Wesbird. Love that. Yeah, you old T-Money. Hey, that's what I'm saying. 24.9. That's the average age of the squad. And I'm 24 in 2 weeks. So you remember that. Roll to 600. CM saying large up T and the TTF indeed. Hope you're keeping good and well. Nice seeing you here, my brother, and love for the good vibes and the support. Thank you for the raid on Friday. You are an absolute legend, and you know the love I got for you, my brother, in each and every one of you in the place. But yes, let's talk about the star performers. In fact, that was Benjamin White, Partey, and Saliba. There were excellent performers throughout this game today. There wasn't really any I don't think anyone was below average, but we have to talk about these individuals in particular. We'll start off with, let's go, if I was to rank them, third, second to first. Third, Benjamin White. And that's close. It's close between them all. What a performance he had. From the very get-go, he had, 2 shots where he blazed one over the bar, but then he had another one which just went across the goal. And I said to my sister at the time, I said to Az, if he hits that, if he misses that more, Jesus gets a tap in. If you know what I mean, people. If he drags it wide a little bit more, drags it more to the left, then Jesus is getting at the back post. He's committed. He's gone for it. And he was onside as well. That's the main thing. But that's when I saw Ben White's statement of intent in this game. And I was like, right, he means business. He played right back last season, in fact, in that 4-2 victory at Stamford Bridge. He was playing out there in that position in that game. And I was very impressed with him then. But the level that Ben White has taken that to now is a joke, because what he is giving you in and out of possession, defensively, aggressive, confident, assured, the presence and the maturity that he shows on that pitch. He received a lot of criticism for not being a natural defender, not being strong or physical enough. Hang on, ask Mason Mount about who's strong and physical enough, because I saw him 50-50 shoulder barges. My brother Benjamin White came out on top. Got the cheeky nutmeg in there as well. But the main, you see, that's the passionate side. But the tactical side of Benjamin White, right, was how he gave us an outlet driving into the midfield, how calm he was in possession. Me and Ed, we've spoken about this before. I remember this game stood out to me. It was England versus Romania. Is that who Vlad Kirikes plays for? The ex-Spurs player? England versus Romania in a friendly last season. Well, not last season, the summer before that, just as we was entering the Euros. And Ben White was on the periphery of the England side there. And that was, against not great opposition. But the calmness of Benjamin White and the fact how unfazed he is under certain pressure, and you're thinking, it's a big opportunity to try and break into the side, and he's coming out and he's driving with the ball in central areas, switching the ball across with first time passes. But today, the other side I saw of Ben White was once again under pressure, one-touch play. He's doing little flicks behind, like Cruyff turn round the ball, counter pressing up high. That's not new. We saw that already. That's a tactic that Arsenal played with our fullbacks pressing literally the wing, like the other fullbacks, the opposition's fullbacks, not even wingers, in those areas when trying to maintain and trying to control them in their own half. But the way you want it back, and then being able to keep the ball, do a little spin, nutmeg when he needs to, the skill, the confidence oozing through his skin, oozing confidence. But yeah, it's a sight to see and it's a sight to behold. And Benjamin White has to be on the plane. Come on, do I have to talk about how he has to be on the plane for England anymore? But he's proven a lot of doubters wrong. And I want you to apologize. If you're not an Arsenal fan, I want you to apologize on Benjamin White and all the nicknames you called him. And even if you are an Arsenal fan, I want you to apologize because you got to, you thought, right, Saliba, excellent. I mean, I'm not talking about in this game. I'm going to give him his praise for this game. Don't worry. But you thought, right, yeah, now Saliba's in here. Benjamin White, yeah, whole bench. Tomiyasu in at right back. It's going to be great. No. Mentality strikes once again. When you're a fighter like Benjamin White, like a Granit Xhaka, like a Tierney, who will, I'm telling you, he will break back into this side. Fight. When you're a fighter, you don't let these things hold you down. This raises your game. This raises your ability. It raises your level. And that's exactly what's happened with Ben White in at right back. Hasn't put a foot wrong all season. Even in our defeat against Manchester United, that weren't his fault. He wasn't at any fault for those goals. He didn't have a below par performance in there. He did his job and he tried to help the team. He was close with that Rashford goal, but Rashford had a good finish in the end. Benjamin White, if we're talking about overall throughout the season, how is he our player of the season? He's definitely, certainly a contender for player of the season. Is he that? We'll have to wait and see. Indeed, we're going to go for second now. And this is so close. Right. This is so close. I think Benjamin White is close. He's not far from second and first. But the gap's a little bit there. Let's say this is Benjamin White. No, actually, this is Benjamin White. This is second. This is ridiculous. This is so minuscule. I can't even really put them apart. BT and a lot of people have given it to Saliba, but I'm going to give it to Thomas Partey. And this isn't no discredit for Saliba because I'm going to talk about him right now. Right? William Saliba. I spoke about the calmness that Ben White shows. My word. The reason why he's another level to like that. And it's not saying another level compared to Ben White. I'm saying another level in terms of this game. Because a lot of these occasions, he's defending in deep areas. Credit to Ben White as well. He did that. He got that last-ditch block in there. But when I'm saying this for Saliba, the calmness personified that he shows, he's the last line of defense when doing this. Ben White still does excellent. And if he don't do his job, then Saliba don't look this is as good either. We have to be honest. Because it's a team game. Football is. People seem to forget that. So, right, Ben. So when the ball does break through, whether they go long, however they do it, yeah, little bits of good play from Chelsea where they had little bits which you expect with their quality. Saliba, when defending in those areas, didn't dive in, delays, and makes that block. Kai Havertz nicked the ball around him. Guess who got back on the recovery and delayed and made the block and they got a corner? William Saliba. That was the only time. I wouldn't even say he got dribble past because he wasn't passed completely and he was out of it. That's the only time where he was like, oh, maybe. No. Saliba shut it down on the ball. He's like, when you talk about press-resistant midfielders, like a Thiago, like a Kovacic for Chelsea, like a Partey, like a Rodri, like a De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo, David Silva, etc. This brother's a press-resistant centre-back. Yeah. He was unfazed. And did you see that run he made on that right? Tearing it down the right wing. Not even, I thought, he's going to cross this ball straight away. No, he had the confidence. And the arrogance to even fake cross it. Fake shot. I've been playing FIFA. Fake cross it. The cross wasn't great in the end, but to show that sort of confidence and maturity as a 21-year-old centre back in your first season in the Premier League, nothing phases him. Nothing phases him at all. I'm enjoying every single moment watching William Saliba play football. He's honestly, when you watch, how many times have you watched a centre back, guys? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat right now. Have you watched a centre back and you thought, okay, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he does with the ball in this situation, this battle that he's going to come up against. Every time I'm looking at Arsenal and Saliba now, I'm like, yo, I can't wait to see how he copes with his striker and how he deals with them, and how calm he is on the ball, and what I can't wait to watch this guy with the ball at his feet as a centre back. Right, that's ridiculous. The levels is crazy, and I think Saliba he has everything to be the best in that sense. He has all the physical attributes. He's 6'4". He's rapid. He's agile. He's strong. He's aerial, by the way. And this was hands up. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm saying this now. I was wrong because I said my only concern for William Saliba is his aerial ability. Age of 21, he's taken that massive leap from even last season in Ligue and in playing for Nice and Rennes. That level where he has taken it with that aerial ability is beyond a joke. And he's winning headers, towering above big strikers, defending in our box. William Saliba, second, but only two, Thomas Partey. King said it on the stream, on the Arsenal show. World class, right? World class. Do you disagree? Tell me if you disagree. Tell me why as well. Come on. I've asked you a question about Benjamin White. I've told you to say sorry, and I want to see sorries. Get the S sorries in the chat, please. I've said sorry. I've said sorry for Saliba's aerial ability. I've said it. You can do as well. But let's talk about Thomas Partey. If you disagreed and didn't say that he's performing at a world-class level, he's at this season, I'm not saying overall, this season, he's been better than anyone else in that position. Because and this is no slight on Rodri, this is no slight on Casemiro, because they are excellent at what they do as well. But what Thomas Partey has above these guys is BP. You know what BP stands for? I'm not talking about the petrol station here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ball progression. How he can play through the lines, under pressure, long passes, first touch, even where it looks like two banks of four set up, looks one way, looks left, and then just reverse passes it in through the lines into Odegaard. The link up, the connection they have is a joke, but out of possession, he never leaves that central area. I heard Clive from the Arsenal Vision podcast say this. He's always available in possession, but he never leaves that central area to defend. The octopus, they called him, right, at Atletico Madrid. And he's the octopus for a reason. He's everywhere. His legs are always seeming like he's got Mr. Stretch. Have you ever watched Incredibles? The Mr. Stretch right there, how he's able to do it, the reading that he has, the ability and the energy that he possesses. Now he's performing at a high level in terms of his fitness. Garner, you keep him, look after him. Roland, you're still there. Look after him. Do not ruin this guy in Ghana for the World Cup, because you've got a real player in your hands there. And how many times have you said that you've got a world-class player who's playing for Ghana? You had Michael Essien, actually. He was very good, but he's not Partey. Oh, I'm saying that now. He ain't Partey. But yeah, he's what a player this guy is. And Arsenal really miss him. And people say, I've also said this, the drop-off between, the next player and the Partey is too big, etc. But guys, how many teams in the world have two world-class central defensive midfielders? Talk to me. Tell me right now. Zero, zilch. I mean, Real Madrid could have had that, but they sold Casemiro to Manchester United. Tchouameni, excellent in that midfield there, and what a player we would have been if we could have signed him. But We'll have to wait and see. Danilo, is he going to be the next one? Whoever. But Thomas Partey, the level he is at, the assurance, the protection, and everything that he gives you, Arsenal. He's so important defensively, and he's so important going forward. Starts every attack in that sense. So yeah, I want to see what you guys are saying in the chat in regards to these three players: Benjamin White, Thomas Partey, William Saliba, because wow, we haven't spoke about him enough. Right, enough. Let's go. Let's see it right here. Let's see it right now. Listen to Wesbird. If you haven't done so already, smash the like button, please. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, yeah, Arsenal won. No shock. Yeah, no shock, Munzi. Arsenal won. It's just how it is nowadays. One loss in the Premier League over a third of the way through. It is what it is. It is what it is, indeed. Okay, enough of the 24, Mr. T. I'm 30 years older than you. Come January, see, Wesbird, you don't show it either. See, like me right here. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm looking at myself now, but yeah. To be honest, in my family, we've all got good genes. To be fair, like none of us look actually older than our age. I'm probably the oldest looking one, and I'll probably say I look about 23, 24, and debatable. But yeah, you see, but yeah, you see Mama G. Yeah, come on, you see Mama G. That's the genetics right there. But I hope you're keeping. I hope you're getting better soon, man. Make sure you stay rested. And Arsenal, they will be the tonic for you right there. Let's see. Matt G still buzzing from the result. I am too. Can you tell? Can you tell with the amount of energy I've been coming with right here, right now? Let's have a look. Benjamin White should tell Southgate to do one when he comes begging. Oh man, he should start. He needs to start. Not talking about in the squad. He needs to start. I don't want to see an Eric Dyer over Benjamin White. I definitely don't want to see that. Exactly. Smash the like button, indeed. I was so nervous because I knew we were favourites today. That worried me. But thankfully, we are maturing as a team and handling the pressure. It's excellent point right there, Wesbird. And this is the difference to what we're seeing from last season. Not in this particular game, but when the going did get tough, when we weren't performing at our best. Like again, this was the best performance I've seen us have at Stamford Bridge, but we still weren't at our best that we've seen this season. And even Arteta's spoken about this, and he's even said it himself. That's why this victory is so massive, because when we weren't our best last season, we lost games. We didn't even draw. We lost games. That's how hard it was. We was at our best. We maintained a high level for periods in the season, but then we couldn't. When we weren't at our best, we couldn't get the result. Whereas now we get results. And how amazing is this? And this is why the sky's the limit. And Arsenal fans, title talk, this and that, enjoy it and do it, because let's be honest right now, we are currently in a title race. We are currently there. We're top of the league, for goodness sakes. Of course, we're in a title race. But whether we're there come May or April or even March, we'll have to wait to see. January's massive for that, in my opinion. January's massive, but right here, right now, we are in it and enjoy it and enjoy the level that we're playing at and the pressure that these guys are playing under. We don't need to say, let's not worry about that anymore. Let's not put the pressure on them. Nah, these guys, they handle pressure. Remember, pressure bust pipe. You don't bust Arsenal players. Pause. Yeah, man, you know how it is. Didn't even know there was football on this weekend. Who even looks at the results there? And you've got the mighty Arsenal next. You've got the mighty Arsenal next. Only foot Ben White put wrong was not standing on Harry Kane's. Exactly. Good thing, actually, because maybe, if he did that in the middle of the pitch, he'd get a penalty anyway, wouldn't he? Work event is on another level. Full stop, Mr. T. He gives us the stability and personifies calmness. Excellent comment once again. I think Westbird's on a Thomas Partey vibe today. On point indeed. Just like you as well. Now, bro, Saliba needs to go for this comment. Saliba needs to go back out on loan to improve, in my humble but accurate opinion. We could loan him to France for the World Cup. Yeah, good 6-week break, in fact. Good 6-week break. Super Nick in that place. Say never underestimate the power of clever rotation. Defined roles for all players and no individuals, a team who would work well together and fight for each other. Congratulations. That's exactly, never underestimate it. And that right there is a phenomenal comment because it's so true. The rotation that he does, Arteta, he's made a lot of rotation in terms of our Europa League games, keeping a strong 11 to help us manage through and win majority of our games and perform at a high enough level with a small squad as well. We definitely need firepower and reinforcements in other areas for sure, Super Nick. So definitely, if we can build upon that and keep growing, and as you said right there, do you know what this comment reminds me of in this part where you say no individuals as a team in a team? Exactly what Mohamed El Nene said about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. No more egos in this side. And we have a team that is together and that will fight for each other. Congratulations. Exactly. Definitely. Big up yourself each and every time, Super Nick. It'll get better. Hopefully not next weekend, but after that, yeah, tell Ed that for sure it will get better indeed. Let's have a look. So getting 2 results bang on this weekend, rising up the Premier League predictions. That's what we like to see. Moss in here giving us the update as well. Did you say Saliba world class? I missed it. No. I said he has all the tools to be the best. Yeah, that's what I said. He has all the tools. World class. He's performing at a ridiculous level right now and a world-class level. He's definitely world-class in his age bracket, for sure. Tell me a better centre-back at his age. Under 23. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. I'll be here all day. The stream will end. Moss is exactly, he is indeed. Big up yourself, my brother Brush as well. Getting giddy now, aren't we, Brush? That's what I am. But yeah, world class is. I want to see if he's doing this in a year. Let's be real. You know what I mean? He's performing at a world class level right now. But to say a world class certified player, you need Partey achievements for that. Do you know what I mean? You need a league title to show for it. Remember, all the Arsenal fans bemoaning at Arteta for sending him out on loan for 2 seasons on the trot, but bringing him back with that on loan experience has paid dividends, and we are benefiting now indeed. Exactly that right there. And there was a reason, there's a method to the madness, but that even we can't understand. But there's so much into it, and as I said this at the time as I was looking deeper into it, is that he when we knew with William Saliba, what we knew was with his tragedy that he had within his family at a very young age, as a teenager and as an early 20, as a player in his 20s, I could not imagine what that impact that could have. And alongside playing football at with not a great team, with a lot of pressure in a different country, learning the language, having to settle whilst deal with that mental trauma. I'm not even sure that William Saliba quite understood, which is why he was so upset. Which you don't expect him to. He's in the moment, and there's a lot of emotions going around. But what I would say is Arteta knew something that we didn't, and I'm not just in the ability side as you're talking about there, and I think you're kind of mixing the both in terms of his development ability in technically wise as a footballer, but mentality wise, taking him out of the limelight, letting him go back to his home country where he speaks the language, where he's familiar, he's got his friends, he's got also his close family there that he can always be around with, those experiencing that and dealing with that grieving process. And he's done that now. And this is something that we've not spoken about and we've not heard him really speak about. This is me looking into it a little bit more. Maybe we'll hear more about this for William Saliba in the near future. When he signs the contract, it'll be an interesting story. But yeah, man, for him to deal with that, we forget about it. We know we have plenty of people in the chat who have had the experience of losing a loved one. To lose both of them in a moment, it's awful. It's awful, and I can't even imagine what that would go through and what that would feel like. So, let alone as a professional footballer where the limelight is always upon you. But yeah, definitely, Mr. T, you are so happy tonight. You are floating. I am indeed. I am. I'm literally on the edge of my seat as we speak right here, right now. Let's see what we're talking about. Tereak, where have you said Arsenal will realistically finish as of this game? Who do you think Arteta gets in the summer? Whoa. Good question here, Eddie. Right. Where do I think we will finish? I said before this game, and like when I did my predictions, I said third. I've got to say second now. Like at the very least, like that's the I'm saying minimum second. It's hard to say outright first. Shall I tell you why, Eddie? Because of the January window. That's why. If it's so hard to say first, because right, first 11. If we got lucky, and this wouldn't happen anyway, but we played our first 11 every week, and we had no fitness issues, nothing like that. I'm saying we can win the league for sure, but I know my issues. I know my squad's problems. That's in depth in certain areas. In defense, I think for this season, if we're once again have some fortune in terms of Gabriel staying fit, because I do think Gabriel, I know it sounds mad, Gabriel is just as important as Saliba. And it's not in terms of, the level Saliba's been performing at and the difference he's made. Of course, it's amazing. But because we don't have another left-footed centre-back, which I think is essential in this Arteta team and how he tries to build from the play. And just as you guys know as well at Man United, the importance that Lautaro, he's playing right now, Lisandro Martinez has for you guys is because he provides balance playing on that left side. Pep Guardiola, he doesn't play a Stones and Diaz. He plays an Ake and a Kanji at times because Ake will give him that balance on that left if Laporte's not fit. And in that sense, so you need someone in that centre-back position to be able to play with their left foot. And I think it's important in terms of build-up. So I would say we could be all right in the area. But as Wes Bird mentioned earlier on, defensive midfielder for sure. Because yeah, I feel that El Nene, if Thomas Partey gets injured, we need someone who's got the. I'm not saying he's on the level because you're not going to get that. Like Thomas Partey they don't grow on trees. Those types of players, they literally don't. They're 1 in 5 players in the world that are like that. So I'm going to say someone who can give us the ball progression from deep in that area and give us a little bit more of an energy than an El Nene, but it's hard in that area. But I would definitely say we need a forward or a wide forward / striker who can play winger. A Diogo Jota in that sense, Eddie. Someone who could give us what Diogo Jota gave for Liverpool, who could play right across the front line, who could cover for Jesus, give him a rest, but also keep a high level of performance. Or, I mentioned this to Brush not too long ago, get a winger who can play on the left, and you can convert Martinelli to that Jota role. Because I do think that there is a capability, and Arteta thinks it as well, because he's spoken about it, where Martinelli could be our Diogo Jota, and in that sense, being someone who can play left. He's played right wing for us before and play striker. So I'm thinking that's what we could possibly do. Get yourself a Mudryk in there. And we're laughing. So mainly those things right there. Defensive midfielder and a winger. That's what I'm saying. And that's what we definitely need to get. In the summer, it's a little bit different because I think we need another central midfielder. And then I think we need another centre-back in there as well. And maybe a goalkeeper. But I don't know. Matt Turner's been really good so far in his last game. And he's developed really well for my liking. Let's have a look. Let's go through a few more comments. I'm worried for Conte's hair this season and his heart as well. Yeah, don't worry, Ed. He'll walk before the opportunity will happen. We know he's a mercenary, Conte. Let's be honest. He's a mercenary. He left Juventus, went to Inter Milan. He left Chelsea, went to Tottenham. He said he'd never worked for Italy, never in his life after the whole Juventus scandal. Where did he go? Work for Italy. So he's a mercenary. Let's not. He'll go before his hair before his wig decides to fall off. Fair enough. I just jumped in. No worries, no worries at all. Technically, Saliba is world class. He's going to the World Cup to with the current World Club holders. Yeah, so he's going to be playing on a world class level. It is true. Big up yourself, John. Thank you for doing us a favour. Can we all thank John and all the rest of the Liverpool fans for beating Spurs and showing that Tottenham get battered everywhere they go? Tottenham get battered, even at home. Do you like that, people? Down, you lot supporting these clubs, no idea what down is. Yeah, exactly. It's true. um, so, what we also have to take into consideration is what we are going to be like after the international break, as I have no idea who will lose to injury, etc., whether we're continuing the same form. Absolutely, Wesbird, 100% as well. That's it. I've not even mentioned that factor in terms of what players will be fit, what fitness level these guys will return in, and what stage, and even the other teams, for example. Manchester City got a lot of players playing in the World Cup. He got a lot of starters in there. If they lose a Rodri or Haaland, he's not playing, of course, but De Bruyne, for example, that's going to be a massive. It's going to be a massive hindrance for them. We saw yesterday. If you take one cog out of that machine, it's not as strong as people make out, is it? It's not as strong because 2-1 to Fulham with a last minute penalty with a dive. It's Fulham. Who do I sound like now? You beat Fulham. Remember that? Richard Keys, where are you now? He's still complaining about Arteta being on the sideline. I saw it. Have you seen it, people? Saying he's out his technical area again today. Not being negative, but just stating a fact. What we could do with a break now, exactly, so we can continue. That's another thing I've kind of, you know what, Westbird, again, I've also said this is that I think this World Cup break is a bit more of a benefit for us than it is a hindrance, because it takes us closer to January where we can get reinforcements in and we can get, Erdegaard, he's not. Ooh, that was a strike. That was Erdegaard. He's not going to the World Cup. Zinchenko, he's not. He struggled with fitness issues. Also, Martinelli, he might go to the World Cup, but I don't think he'll play for Brazil, given the ridiculous amount of talent they've got. Vinicius, Neymar, Rafinha, who I wanted at Arsenal. You all know that already. Yeah, and then the plethora of players they got there: Jesus, Firmino, Richarlison, who all seem to be ahead of Martinelli in the pecking order at the moment. So yeah, we've got plenty of players that will be going, but might not necessarily be starting week in, week out. So I'm hoping that, the likes of Saka, who will play, not Jesus, Granit Xhaka, who'll play every game, being Switzerland's captain, Tomiyasu as well, one of Japan's best players, Thomas Partey, the main one, who is Ghana's captain and best player. So just make sure we keep him fit. Ghana you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to say this now. I'm sorry, Roland. I'm sorry, Rich. Ghana, please just go home early. Wrap it up. Yeah, wrap it up early. Yeah, please, because I need Thomas Partey back for the rest of the season. Sorry, love you. Exactly. Wilf, he said it right there. Definitely. Do you know anything about Ibrahim Bamba? Nah, who's Ibrahim Bamba? I'm not sure. Who's that? Who does he play for? Let me know, Wilf. Also, the lower league position teams that don't have any players going to the World Cup will benefit more so than the top teams who will lose players to internationals. Yeah, do you know what? This is where I disagree with you in a sense, because there are, in the Premier League, there's a lot of lower league players in the lower part of the league who are still internationals. For example, Wolves are in the relegation zone. They've still got a Ruben Neves, who's an international. I mean, Raul Jimenez, if he's fit, I'm sure he'll probably go if he's got any chance. Who else? Martino, he's not going by the looks of it. But yeah, I get your point in that sense. They're not going to have as many internationals as we are in the upper echelons of the league. But the Premier League is at such a high level. A lot of these guys are still internationals. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Even in Nottingham Forest, a lot of their players, they're international players. Yeah, not a lot of them are playing in the World Cup due to their nations not qualifying. Moss saying David rips it up. Davies is going to be okay. Backup keeper broke his leg. Yes, we did see that. We did watch out for the Belgians, indeed. Yeah, me and Az were watching that yesterday, and that wasn't great. And then I didn't even know he was a Canadian goalkeeper until Az told me. So yeah, no, we do need it. Defensive mid. Who's he play for? 20 years old. It'd be great to see. But guys, I am going to wrap it up here. I didn't go through all the players. We'll talk about the others as well. We'll talk about a lot more going forward. But yeah, I just thought to give you a short match reaction. Come on, guys. This is short on Tereak Talks, an hour. But yeah, people. So yeah, my man of the match, in fact, you know it. It was Warren Partey. I was about to say White. I was going to say White Partey and Saliba. Yes, if I could give them 3, but I just edged it to Thomas Tereak Partey. But people, I'm going to say thank you, massive thank you for the interaction that we have had on this stream. It's been phenomenal. It's been great to share this with you, and it's great to share these moments. And even if you're not an Arsenal fan, just showing the love, the support, it means even more in that sense, because you know what, that just shows your appreciation for the community, for myself, and you know what, and you're not salty, and you're people that got great hearts, and I really appreciate that. And my fellow Gooners, you mean the most as well, because people the fact that you share these moments with me and we get to talk about our thoughts and opinions and share our emotions and feelings, it means a lot. And it really does I really do feel the love, and I hope that you guys feel the love and appreciation for myself. You know what, the dream is where I could do this and we could share it all the time, and we can have meetups and events and etc. The dream's there, and hopefully we'll get there one day. But I just want to say right now, thank you for the love and support you guys show. Arsenal fans, non-Arsenal fans, you're amazing. It means the most. And yeah, and it's great to finally be happy, sharing a lot of happy emotions, being an Arsenal fan, and being, as I said, I've said it about 20 times in here, coming up to 24 years of age. There's not been many moments where I felt this happy. So yeah, it's great to share them now. But you guys have been there through the ups and the downs as well. I remember losing to Liverpool, my third stream, my third Arsenal watch along was it 6-0 or 5-0? I think it was 5-0. Can't remember. It's so long ago when we lost to Manchester City, Chelsea, Brentford in that period. And we've just grown and grown ever since. So people, the one thing that I'll ask you to do is not just share the video, or I'm not just like it. I mean, I've given you an answer. Is to share it as well, and share the channel to people that you think would be interested. I've got a lot more content coming up soon. I know I've been easing on the watch alongs a lot. It's been really busy. It's been a really busy past 2-3 months, I would say, but this month's been even more hectic. But guys, we have got plenty of plans coming up for the World Cup, where we get to have the festival of football, and we get to really celebrate a lot going into it, the diversity that we have. Me and Roland, and myself, not just me and Roland, it was actually Rich and Roland who hosted it, but Roland and Rich gave me the opportunity to share the AFCON experience. That was my first one, really watching most of the games, talking, was even talking about a lot of the games. If you saw on Rich's channel as well for the Women's Euros, there was plenty of content during the summer as well. So it has been an amazing ride and journey, and I'm looking forward to so much more coming. So stay tuned for the World Cup, even though there's not a lot of excitement right now, even from myself, because I'm too busy focusing on Arsenal. I'm sure it will come around and we can share wonderful moments and memories once again. But people, gonna love you and leave you. Take care and peace. But before that, we are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.